3,000 horsepower. 300 kilometers an hour. 3 days of penetrating rivalry. Welcome to the 2014 Oryx Cup. For a country that embellishes itself with the world's premier sporting championships, unlimited hydroplanes is the latest scoop for Qatar and its flagship capital, Doha. These magnificent men in their flying machines hurtling around a 1,500-meter circuit, appearing out of control at ludicrous speed. It's perfect. 3 amazing days to enjoy, and getting quickly underway with a customary time trial to decide who's fastest. 6th quickest, Tom Thompson, number 11, Miss Peterson-May. 5th fastest, John Theoret, replacing the injured Kit Brown in '96, Spirit of Qatar. No easy ride, as sea conditions suggest. 4th, Carl Phipps, number 7, Graham Trucking, number 2, ranked number 3. 3rd, John Zimmerman, number 9, the Rocket Man, Team Red Dot, ranked 4. And the top 2, J. Michael Kelly, Graham Trucking 1, winner here in 2009, and in red-hot form. And quickest of the day, Jimmy Shane, champion in 2012 and 13, looking to make it 3 in a row with number 6, Alberto Beef Jerky. Shane's best lap time, just 0.221 of a second better than Kelly, but that's enough to secure 100 points to kick-start his defense of the world title. As well as the Oryx Cup World Championship, this is also the finals of the American High Point Series. Points accrued from the USA Tour added to those here to determine who's best of the USA this year. Shane in charge, but with work to do. 400 points for the winners of 4 heats, so that 800-point lead could disappear very quickly. Lots to pack in. Let's begin, and no better place to start than the start.
3, 2, 1, mark, 1 minute.
We're a sport that's based on a tradition since 1903, and we use a clock start. It's called a rolling start. The boats are at speed as they approach the starting line. When the clock gets to 0, your boat cannot be ahead of the clock. It's got to be right there, and we're traveling at give or take 280 kilometers per hour, 200 and something miles per hour. So you're traveling 300 feet per second. So accuracy is critical. If you jump, it's a 1-lap penalty. Basically, you're done. And I have jumped the gun here at the Oryx Cup. I should have won 3 times, and I was called for infractions. So we use a camera technology that does 30 slides per second. And then there's a light that comes on. If there's no light, you're legal. If your bow's over, the sponson's over, and the light comes on, you're illegal.
It adds spice to an already hot mix. On to the first heats. Jimmy Shane and J. Michael Kelly ensuring the battle for the High Points title will go all the way to the final day. JMK cruising to a comfortable win in the first of the afternoon's heats, while start violations for both Shane and Zimmerman in Heat 1B guarantees Qatar's Jean Theoret marks his return to the sport after 5 years with a blistering run. And a maximum points haul for him. Jubilation for the home team, work to do for the favourites.
To win our first heat out is amazing. And the 2 other guys out in front jumped, so it was all good for us.
Driver mistake. I made a mistake, and I'll admit to it.
But Shane's back on track in Heat 2B, making up for the disappointment of starting his opening heat prematurely by leading from start to finish this time and maintaining his push for the title. Thierret is an impressive second. And Phipps finishes third. Elsewhere, no smoke without fire.
Let's get somebody out there as fast as we can. Thanks.
I don't know exactly what's happening, but there was a little flame in the back end still burning, and that's what they started panicking about. I mean, rightfully so. Everybody wants to be really cautious, but you know, they brought me the fire extinguisher and I put it out myself, so we'll get it fixed up and we'll be ready to run tomorrow.
Heat 2A rescheduled to run after 2B following that wee blaze on Peterson Maze. Kelly never troubled by Zimmerman.
What's going to happen if you keep on this form into tomorrow?
Well, the goal is to win every race we get out there and you know, make that final and win the final. Won the Oryx Cup in 2009. Ted Porter's won, I think, what, 5 out of 6. So let's make it 6 out of 7.
Not so lucky for Thompson. Midnight oil for his crew. Odds against a title win now suddenly considerably higher. Rough day all round. Flying by the seat of the pants on a cushion of air trapped in the tunnel beneath. Raising the boat above the water to reduce drag. But hovering inches above the surface brings its own risks. Any unexpected change, and they can quickly take off.
There's nothing like it in normal life that would compare to it. I think if you climbed in your washing machine, put it on high speed and filled it with water, that's pretty close. When you're going straight, not so much. It's basically static, feeling like you're in your car. As soon as you go into a turn and the turn fin grabs the water, now you go from 0 G loads, weight of gravity, from anywhere from 4 to 11 Gs, depending on if the boat gets rough. So that's 11 times the weight of your body. There's a head restraint to try to keep your neck here, but it is a violent, violent activity. Then you get back on the straightaway. Now the boat's floating, not so rough. You can actually breathe a little bit in the straightaways. Next turn, you don't back out of it. Turn the wheel. You're using a canard wing up front with your left foot. Right foot's gas, fuel, petrol, left foot canard. So you're flying in the straightaway, and in the turn, you're really trying to keep it light, because as those sponsons get wet, you slow down.
You're the only guy I know that's done a complete 360 loop and landed it.
I think in this country we would say inshallah. It's I hit what's called a roller, which is a wave that started out in the Arabian Sea a long time ago. Rolling in, you don't see it. You hit it at 200, the sponsons lift and away you go. So it was Mumtaz and inshallah, and I'm still here. I had called my wife, who was back in the States, forgetting it was about 4 a.m. her time. And I said, hey honey, I'm okay. She says, of course you are, and she hung up.
Also recall Steve David saying at the time it took a lot of skill to land that 360. Good time for the sun to set, I think. It's day 2, the pits are open and everyone can get close up and personal with this, the most approachable of any sport. Into the final day of the Oryx Cup Unlimited Hydroplane World Championship Doha. With any chance of J. Michael Kelly now lifting the national title dependent on him being drawn in the same heat as Shane and beating him. His wish is granted. They finally clash in Heat 3A, joined by John Zimmerman, Dave Warren and Jesse Robertson. Kelly nails the perfect start, edging clear of Shane and making short shrift of establishing a 50-metre lead, which the Oberto driver is simply not able to close. The win enables Kelly to shave a further 100 points off the deficit. Elsewhere, Zimmerman crosses the line in a comfortable third, and Warren passes Robertson a lap from home to snatch fourth. Dave Wilcock is unable to make the start of 3B after his turbine engine ingests water. It leaves the door open for Thierret, Phipps, Webster and a struggling Tom Thompson to vie for the top spot. Picking up the Qatar team gauntlet, Thierret goes for glory and a win that would virtually guarantee his spot in the Oryx Cup final. But 800 metres from home, his train derails when the steering wheel parts company and he grinds to a halt. It leaves the door open for the pursuing Phipps to sail through and take the lead with the resurgent Thompson, passing Webster to grab the runner-up slot and a valuable 300 points.
As usual, the Peterson May team busted their butt all night long to take 2 and make 1. And you know, our plan was to go out, let me push it a little bit in the first lap of testing, or before the race started, to see what it would do. And if it worked, it was, you know, go for it and see what we could get.
Final heats in a couple of minutes. First, the man who's done more for powerboating than anyone else in 3 decades. I would like you to take a look at this, his junior academy.
You see the two checker buoys, you want to go between those.
شايفين البويات اللي الابيض والاسود وحضرتك رايح عليهم سيده بتمر بينهم.
You'll see outside there's small white buoys out there.
The journey begins in February 2014 when 24 youngsters turn up, eager to learn how to drive a hydroplane. The course is also designed to teach them racecraft, how to be safe and respect other water users. And there's a bonus. The top 3 competitors will be invited to represent Qatar at the Junior World Hydroplane Championships in America. How about that?
We were just absolutely amazed on how well they did. These kids are ready to go racing.
Eventually at the Worlds, they're pitched against bigger and more experienced drivers. There are to be no medals, but they lead the grandest occasion of their young lives with heads held high and the challenge of turning the tables when everyone arrives in Doha for the reverse fixture in 2015. Much accomplished and a huge cultural bridge is constructed.
It was a great experience. We did really well against the best in the world. I said I will make a Qatari world champion. It's a promise to myself, a promise to the Qataris.
They've created an excellent friendship. They've created a very strong competition. The communication between those guys I can see on Facebook is just impressive. So, at the end of the day, we've reached our objective. We had the guys racing in the US. Now we're looking at maybe some of the kids from the US coming and racing the junior hydro in 2015. So, that's the plan we're working on. We want to bring in the two cultures closer together.
Sheikh Hassan Al Thani, great man, grossly undervalued by a majority across the world of powerboating. Back to the Oryx Cup, Heat 4A. A win or second place enough for Shane to clinch the 2014 National High Points Championship, with the Oryx Cup double still on the cards. No pressure then. Zimmerman, Phipps, Thompson and Warren complete the lineup, with Thompson's Peterson-made pit crew using up all their spare bits to even get him there. Everyone in with a chance of making the world final, but to do that, first you have to finish. By the way, that is not a clue. Gilberto Beef Jerky driver makes the perfect start, using additional boat speed from lane 2 to pass the rocket man Zimmerman on the outside. Never troubled after that, surging to the checkered flag and clinching the national title with the Oryx Cup final in hand. Zimmerman finishes a comfortable second. Phipps, Thompson and Warren follow some way behind. So 4B becomes a high points anticlimax. Nothing Kelly can do now. Shane is home and dry. A finish for the Graham trucking driver, good enough to see him into the Oryx final. Top 3 for Theoret will be plenty for the Qatar team, and with only the slower boats of Webster and Robertson to challenge, it's kind of over before it begins. But as always, you have to get over the finish line. Another chance also here for Theoret to pitch his boat against one of the title favourites. Remember, he's not sat in a H1 boat for 5 years, and never in this one until he got here. So, competitive seat time, always welcome. Killer Kelly, though, exceedingly streetwise in these matters, gives nothing away, consolidating an excellent start and holding off a strong Theoret challenge through the opening turns. The Qatar driver, incidentally, suffering an earlier scare during the milling process when his turbine bogged down and he had to fight to regain his start position. Kelly holds on to take the checkered flag, a 4th haul of maximum points with Theoret well clear of Webster. Robertson pulls up at the end of the first lap and retires. It's all over now. Fine effort by Kelly, but not enough to present Supersonic Shane from taking top honours.
Jimmy, National High Points champion, how does it feel?
This is unbelievable. This is what our team strives to do for all season long. We started every single heat this year. We only had really one incident that took us out of one race, and that's what it takes to win a National High Points Championship. It's consistency, it's having good equipment, it's having a great team, and there's only one thing left to do, and we're going to go for the World Championship next, so look for us to be out in front.
Welcome back for the Oryx Cup final on a beautiful day in Doha Bay, as the Americans say. It's time for the winner-takes-all showdown for the world title.
We just came here to do what we could. We tried to dip into Jimmy's point lead for national high points, and I think unfortunately we just ran out of heat racing. So now we just go into that final now that we've locked up a spot, and go out there and win it. And that's our goal now.
Is it a three-way scrap in the final, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, pretty much three-way boat. We could also include John Zimmerman in the line boat, which can mix up the cards. So we'll see what's going to happen. Lane choice is going to be very important. Whoever's going to get the inside lane is going to win the race. This is a very rough water here, and the inside lane is a shorter course, and rough water combined all together. The first lane's going to win the race.
Before we go, let's recall Steve David's words earlier. It is 2 races in one. Lane positioning for the countdown clock is race 1. 6 laps at 200 miles an hour with everyone, including the boat, trying to kill you. Metaphorically speaking, that is race 2. The setting sun, also an issue. Here's your lineup then in numerical order. The start lane's about to be decided on the water in that preliminary lineup. Crucial to get either lane 1 or 2 if you can. Thereafter, chances of winning decrease alarmingly. Conversely, of course, hit the start line early from any lane and it's effectively all over anyway. Lots to cram into the cerebral zone as the clock ticks inexorably towards the big zero. 2 pairs of eyes might be handy in getting a usable lane sorted before a 1-minute cut-off point. The matter thereafter is hitting zero at maximum speed. It is an art form. Riding with Kelly, eyes glued on Shane. They will start the next time round. And that is not good news for Qatar fans. A major concern there, the boat grinding to a halt, while up front it's cat and mouse for the 30 seconds to zero. Kelly appears to have the inside track, shadowed by Zimmerman. Shane outside him. Round the corner into the sun. Phipps has secured lane 2. There he is, ahead of everyone else, but that's a misjudgment. He's too slow there to hit the ground running at the big naught. He'll be trashed from there.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Whoa, close. It was clean though. Zimmerman and Shane together. Kelly is third, but with inside track. Turn 1 coming up. It's tight. Oh, Thompson in there too. Through the exit now, down the straight. Shane drops Zimmerman, taking up the challenge now to Kelly, who exits first. Shane with the speed, but 7 boat lengths is the required distance between the 2 boats before he can pull over. And these turns come up pretty thick and fast. 292 kilometers an hour, top speed on that straight. No time to think about what to do next. It's gut instinct and experience. In a game where centimeters count front and side. Kelly clinging desperately on to his priceless inside lane. Temperature rising. Sun sinking. Side by side. Whoa! Bouncing moments for the Oberto man. A little bit close there for the new High Points champion. Still in there. Halfway through lap 2. Wondering though whether he may have burst his little bubble with that bobble. Not quite so close now. No quitter, of course. Kelly will be well aware of that. Oh, and all going off behind too. Tom Thompson's box of bits versus Carl Phipps, 3rd overall in the High Point Stakes. No podium place on offer as yet. Zimmerman some way ahead, but plenty of pride for the man in the yellow boat who had to put his own fire out earlier, you remember. Some days it just doesn't happen for you, does it, Tom? dropping off a little here at the top turn of the oval track. Back to Shane and Kelly. The nerves still jangling and the teeth rattling in both cams. Race halfway point, and looking back at the end of lap 1 to a passage of play that might well have decided which mantelpiece the Oryx Cup will grace this Christmas. Shane, the faster boat. Kelly, the shorter route. It's a classic. Thompson on the march again too. Back on the case. 290 kilometers an hour for him. Needs a bit more. Behind them, Webster in 6th, hoping to pick up an odd late scrap that might come his way. Owen Sperrer thought for Jean Thierret, a fuel problem denying him the opportunity of joining in the fun. He would have loved this. Well, here's the start again. Phipps arriving early, Kelly a tad late. Shane on the button from lane 3. Kelly, the executioner of lap 2, getting ahead, and he's still there, topping out at 301 kilometers an hour on that lap. A man who races in virtually every class most weekends, in very good shape here. Zimmerman tucked in 3rd without sufficient pace on the day to keep up. 6 kilometers an hour slower than Shane in qualifying, that's a lot. Hanging in his only option, 298 kilometers an hour. Decreasing light as well now, the sun's setting in a salt haze created by rooster tails. And you might like to consider this as well. These boats travel at 300 feet every second. An average driver's reaction time is 2 seconds. So everything 200 meters ahead is history. Spot a hazard, nothing you can do. Your brain won't engage in time. How scary is that? A cue for Jimmy Shane, lap 2, surviving a storm that might have sent him into orbit. Oh, that was bouncy. Foot still hard on the gas, you note. Doesn't give up easily, does he? Special breed of guy, driving semi-blind in the spray for much of 5 very fast laps. And into the final lap then. Shane now resigned, I'm sure. It's not going to be 3 in a row. Kelly up ahead, heading towards the final turn, concluding a race he made his own before the clock stopped ticking. Michael Kelly, winner in 2009, is the new Oryx Cup World Champion in 2014. Fantastic. I think you can safely say he's pretty happy about it. Oh, they most certainly are. Is a big deal for them. Hare, on this occasion, definitely outsmarted by the tortoise. Jimmy Shane, though, I'm sure not too distraught, already new high points champion. And that also means something. No late bonuses for John Zimmerman, cruising in there to secure the 3rd spot. Celebrations on the way at Graham Trucking. J. Michael, hugely respected by everyone. This is how it finishes up. Kelly joins Shane, 2 wins apiece now in this prestigious world event. Roll on 2015.
It was all about the first corner. It's all about getting the inside lane.
Exactly. We got that inside, and Jimmy had a little bit on us. He had great start from the outside. We didn't have the speed going that we needed, and so he had a little bit of lead on us going in the turn. But that inside was the fastest way around, and we eventually made up what we had lost in the start, and it just. Man, what an amazing race. What a great feeling this is.
Yeah, what about that start? It was pretty much touch and go, wasn't it? Yeah,
no, it was there. I mean, we hit our marks, we drew it up exactly, and we just hit our marks and did what we needed to do. I could have probably got a little better start, but, we didn't want to get called for jumping the gun in the final. We did everything else to get the inside lane, and, but that's five heat wins today with the, come away at the win, so it's a perfect weekend for us.
Yeah, 5 for 5. How does it feel to be the champion then?
Oh, it feels amazing. It felt amazing in 2009 when I won the first one, and they're always going to be amazing. I mean, we're in a beautiful country, and just great to have the opportunity to be able to come here and race here.
How did you see that start? Because you did have the edge that first lap, didn't you?
Yeah, I definitely nailed the start. I had about 3 or 4 boat lengths on everybody going into the first turn. I was able to hold them off for a lap and a half, and the rough water got to us, and that was it.
And it wasn't just the rough water. What about the sun?
Yeah, that once you go around two laps around this place, the salt kind of hangs in the air. It creates this curtain that when the sun hits it, you almost go blind. We were really going into a blind first turn, and we're just lucky that everybody got out safe and sound here on Doha Bay.
You can gonna give it another go next year then?
Absolutely, we'll be back. It'll be my 6th time back here in Doha, and we'll be looking to get another world championship.
What a weekend. Great weather, great crowds, great atmosphere, and a new world champion. Picture perfect. From me, Peter Butler, on behalf of H1 and QMSF. See you next time.